do plan to vote for the 2020 election. The main social issue that I'm concerned for is climate change. Just something that's really important to me, and even more important to me after this summer where I went to the Grand Canyon, one of the most just natural places you can find. It made me want to think about global warming. It made me feel it a lot more than I did before, because we have to take care of our earth. One of the places we went, it was the third, fourth day. We did a silent hike. You could just feel the energy around you. Just kind of learning about the history of the Grand Canyon just showed me oh wow, there's a lot more work to do. And if anything, people were trying to destroy the Grand Canyon. They were trying to build essentially a resort on top of the Grand Canyon and then have an escalator go down to take people, and it would essentially just pollute the rest of the river more than it already is. That kind of just really touched me. I think it's honestly just about changing the minds of people. Consume less, essentially. Most people, they don't question where their bottle of water comes from. They just know, oh yeah, it's convenient. Let me take that, drink it, throw it away. Think about the future and the next few generations that are gonna live. Don't be ashamed of trying to save the earth, because there's nothing wrong with it. Nobody should be judging you to start trying to save the earth. For the 2020 presidential election, I'm gonna be voting for someone that is caring of the future of the earth, and someone that's willing to put in all the effort no matter what backlash they get.
There are some social issues that I do plan on voting for, like discrimination of people of color at the border, and helping families reconnect. There is an issue because my family is from Central America. My parents are from El Salvador, and a lot of the people who are at the border are primarily Central Americans. People who are being affected by President Trump's unwilling to aid these people, and it's turning their lives around and taking them apart from their families. In this generation and this time and day, a lot of people are more likely to vote due to all of the things that are happening, and they want to make a difference in what will happen in the future.
If I could vote in the 2020 election, I would, but I can't because I'm undocumented. I pride myself in kind of being really informed about local and national politics, and I get as much as involved as I can to a certain point. The only way I would be able to vote if there was a pathway to citizenship for me, but there isn't one. I've experienced a lot in my life, about racism or gun violence and stuff like that. The night that Trump won, I remember my mom going to sleep. She turned off the TV and she just cried herself to sleep, and then it was so silent. I do have DACA, but I got it kind of a few months before Trump was elected. DACA it does a lot for me, and I'm very thankful for it because it allows me to get a job, which that means I can help my family and get money for college. And it gives me a little bit of protection from deportation, but it's weird because it helps me a lot, but it's they can take it away from me at any second. And that's very scary to think about. Politics is very important, and it affects everyone even if they don't realize it. So I kind of do get frustrated, and I would wish that even especially my peers and my generation, I wish they would check their privilege and kind of realize that it's very important for them to share their voice, because other people can't even if they want to. I know it sounds cliche, but your vote does matter. Don't let a vote go to waste. Just vote for it and actually try to inform yourself about what's going on. even if it's just, you can start small, find out what's going on in your local politics. Like, yeah, just be informed, do your research. It doesn't take that much time. You have Google on your phone. It takes like a few seconds to do a little bit of research.
I'm currently 18 years old, and I don't think I'll be voting this upcoming term. It mostly has to do because I don't really connect with any candidate as well. I also don't follow any political news whatsoever. I tend to, avoid that type of hassle. If I don't know something, then I educate myself, but then again, I'm not very interested in it, which is also being a little bit hypocrite because I am in AP government. Maybe that will change my attitude towards it. It is a group effort for this, but I would really love it if something could be done in improving the homelessness, in especially in the area of Los Angeles, Skid Row especially, because it is really devastating what they have to put through every single day. In November 2020, in the presidential elections, as of right now, I don't know exactly what will trigger me to exercise my right to vote. But whatever it is, I feel that it will be in the right time and right position for me to do so.
Kids could change the whole nature of the future, their own future. Quite frankly, you can look at me and you can say, I'm going to be dead when you guys are going to have to deal with the future. You're not going to be. And if you don't deal with the future, people my age are going to screw up your future. We're going to be making decisions now about the world, global warming, student loans, all of that. And the people who vote are people my age, not people your age. But we're going to screw up your future if you let us. Trust me. And the idea is, the more kids vote, they control their own future, because you're the future, not us.
It's something that it's something that's pretty unique to be at this age and finally voting for this first time. When I was younger, 18 to 25ish, 24ish, I wasn't really involved in voting in general. It was out of school and hanging out, partying. I grew up in Vegas and Las Vegas, and politics weren't really on my mind at that time. I've traveled most of the United States, up to Alaska and all the way down to Florida, and I happened to be down in Florida during the Bush-Gore election, and was part of an area right up there. It's called Vero Beach, Florida. I felt like I was privy to overhearing certain conversations or things and comments that were made that when the voting came out the way it happened down there, I felt that there was some internal aspects to the voting that caused it to be off kilter, I guess, and was just kind of introduced to some ideas and thoughts going on at that time that swayed me from thinking that voting really mattered. For the first time, it doesn't matter what anybody else says. I need to speak. So it's empowering.
When you think of the historical weight of being a woman of color who can vote and have her voice heard in this country, it can just move you to tears, like that you're standing on the shoulders of all of these people who came before you and fought for their rights, marched, died, were incarcerated, so that you can vote today. So it's definitely something I take really seriously. It's hard to remain hopeful, but you must, and that's what voting really helps you do, is kind of continue to have this idealistic view of the world and hope your voice matters. It takes a lot of bravery to come out and speak and demand your rights when you're not yet a citizen.
But once you become a citizen, you're fully an American and you have the same rights and everything. So it's kind of a relief. It was like a huge relief. I'm really looking forward to voting. I've always been in the belief of if I'm gonna complain, I have to participate. Before that, I didn't wanna give my opinion of anything because I didn't have any skin on the game. But now, yeah, just being able to do that, I feel like I can engage more, like with the people here.
There's so many examples that can be told to people about why you vote. You know, how does your life change? Did you want your life to change?
So this is some writing that goes along with a picture I took about voting. So voting for the first time is a rite of passage for so many of my friends, and is one that I will not be able to take part of. This photo is what I feel when I think of voting. I am undocumented, so I cannot vote. I feel like I am locked in a prison. I stay informed and as involved as I can be. My generation has a tendency to throw away their votes because they feel like their vote won't make a difference. Eligible youth voters should realize that they have a voice that needs to be heard, that their voice does matter, that they can make a change. I feel a deep physical hurt when I realize that I cannot vote about policies that affect me. I cannot vote to change the conditions of thousands of children locked in cages right now. I cannot vote to challenge the gender pay wage nor about women's rights. I cannot vote about climate change or pollution. I cannot vote about any topic that affects me. It is important for youth to check their privilege and to remember that some people cannot vote. It hurts being in a prison that limits me, but I feel such a great joy knowing that there are others who care deeply about the same issues I do, and that they have a chance to make a difference. And if someone can actively be aware of the evil going on in today's politics, maybe they can decide to use their power for good and vote to make a change.
No one has ever offered to do that before. It's really cool to have a conversation with you because I've never met someone who doesn't want to vote but is pretty well educated about politics and stuff, and isn't just oh, I just don't want to vote.